Alright, welcome in everybody. LUFOELT coming at you with another speaking and listening video. Today we're going to be looking at another set of allophones. We'll be looking at the ED ending sound of regular verbs. And just to kind of cover once again and review what all of this means. So sometimes there are different ways to pronounce a phoneme, and a phoneme is just a single sound, one syllable in English. And sometimes the same letter or the same combination of letters, it looks like it should be the same sound, but there are different pronunciations for this same combination of letters, and this is called an allophone. And so we'll be looking at a very important one today, which is the ED ending sound for the regular verbs. Just to make sure everyone understands, there are regular and irregular verbs in English. And all verbs, whether they're regular or irregular, have 5 forms: infinitive, simple present, simple past, past participle, and present participle. Okay, and here's just an example of the 5 different forms using the verb start. And these 5 forms are used in various different verb tenses. So for example, the present participle form is used with the present continuous tense. So just make sure you understand the difference between form and tense. Okay, so like I said, there's example here with the word start. So infinitive form, the dictionary form, to start. Second is the simple present. It would be start, or sometimes you need to change it or conjugate it to be starts. The third form, present participle, starting with the ing. The fourth is simple past, so started. And the fifth is past participle, and that's also started. Okay, so what's the difference between regular and irregular verbs? The main difference is in the 4th and 5th form, the past forms. So these past forms, with the regular verbs, you'll see ed endings with the spelling of these verbs. And with the irregular verbs, they take on a different form. The spelling is actually changed. So for example, I have the verb drink here. So infinitive form, to drink, simple present, drink or drinks, present participle, drinking. So this is all the same, regular, irregular. And then as I said, the difference is with the past. So with the simple past, it's drank, and with the past participle, it's drunk. And you can see that that's different from the ed form of the regular. So this is the main difference between regular and irregular verbs. There are more differences than just this, but that will be something I'll cover in another video. Today we're just looking at regular verbs, and regular verbs are very consistent. In past forms, the end of regular verbs are spelled with either ed or ied. But the pronunciation has 3 different variations. Again, these are the allophones that I talked about. So today we're going to focus on the 3 pronunciations of the ending sound of ed in the past form of these regular verbs. Okay, so let's just take a look at the 3 different ed ending sounds in English. Okay, here we have some examples. So the first one is looked. The next one is called, and the last one is waited. Alright, so here you can see the normal spelling, and I've highlighted the ed combination, and you're probably able to hear the 3 different sounds in the pronunciation of these. And below the words you can see the IPA spelling of this pronunciation, and in case for anyone who's not familiar, I talk about in a lot of my speaking and listening videos, International Phonetic Alphabet is what IPA stands for, and there are some great resources that I've given in previous videos about learning IPA and practicing IPA. So you can check out my other video on pronouncing the TH sound, in which I give some really great resources for that. Okay, so back to the focus for today's video, the 3 ED ending sounds in English. So which ending ED sound should I use, and when do I use each one? You're probably wondering these things. And the answer is that it depends on the phoneme, or the sound, in the word right before the ED ending. Okay, so again, let's take a look at the 3 words. We have looked. So here there's the K sound right before the ED ending. So here we have the K sound. And called. So here we have the L sound before the ED ending. And waited. And here we have the T phoneme, or the T sound, right before the ED phoneme, or the ED sound. Okay, so really it depends on which sound comes before the ED sound, and here we have a chart. So for pronunciation of ED that sounds like T, if the last phoneme in the word right before the ED sound starts with or sounds like the F sound, the K sound, the P sound, the C sound, the double S sound, the SH sound, the CH sound, or the X sound, then you're going to pronounce the ED like T. Okay, so let's take a look at these examples. So we have, for example, golfed, laughed, and photographed. So you can hear at the end I pronounce the ED sound like T, right? And F, GH, and PH all sound like F. They all make the F sound. So keep in mind that we're focusing here on the pronunciation and the sound, not just the spelling, okay? And in the next example, K, so looked. So you just pronounce look and then T. So looked, looked. That's how you pronounce the past form of look. And P, so help, help, helped, helped. Okay, so you just say help and then T, helped, helped. That's the T pronunciation of the ED ending sound there. And for C, raced, raced, raced. All right, and the S sound, the double S sound, kissed, kissed, wished, wished, and CH, watched, watched, and X, fixed, fixed. Okay, so you can see here it's fairly easy, the pronunciation. You just say the present form of the verb and then add the T sound at the end. All right, so if it ends with F, K, P, C, double S, SH, CH, or X, this pronunciations, then you're going to just add the T sound at the end. All right, so let's take a look at the next pronunciation, which is the D sound, the D sound at the end of regular past tense form. So if the word ends with the B sound, the G sound, the GE sound, the L sound, the M sound, the N sound, the R sound, the V sound, the Z or single S sound, any vowel sound, or any voiced TH sound, then the end ED will be pronounced like D. Okay, so let's take a look at these examples here. All right, the first one is grab, and to spell this, we add an extra B and ED at the end of the word, and the pronunciation is grabbed. Okay, so very similar to T, you just pronounce the present form of the verb and add D at the end. Okay, so let's take a look at the next example. The G sound. So bagged. Okay, bagged. Bagged. All right, bagged. All right, and the GE sound. So, for example, in the word change, to make that past tense, the pronunciation is changed. 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 Okay, changed. And the L sound, called. 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 And the M sound, warmed. 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 Okay, and the N sound, happened. 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 Okay, and the R sound, shared. 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 All right, and the V sound, believed. 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 Okay, and just a reminder here, it's not only about the spelling, it's more about the pronunciation, the phoneme, the sound, the last sound before adding the ED sound at the end of the word. So here in believe we have an E, but that E is silent. So the last sound before the ED is V, okay? So once again, that's believed. All right, and then the single S or Z sound, for example, in use or size, we pronounce like used and sized. All right, and vowel sounds also are pronounced with the D sound at the end. For example, hurry, hurried. Okay, and finally, voiced TH sound, like in bathed or clothed or something like this. Okay. Another point or tip for these is that with all of the T pronunciations at the end, you'll notice that these are all voiceless sounds that come right before the ED ending. So, for example, F, F, K, P, S, S, Sh, Ch, X. Okay, that's F, K, P, C, double S, S, H, C, H, and X. These are all voiceless or unvoiced sounds that come right before the ED sound. So if it's voiceless, then you're going to pronounce it with a T sound at the end. And for D, for the D ED ending pronunciation, these are all voiced. So B, G, J, L, M, N, R, V, Z, and the vowel sounds and the voiced TH. Okay, so that's just a little tip for you there. And if you want to know more about voiced or unvoiced, also it's sometimes called voiceless, I have a part in the video about the pronunciation, the two different pronunciations for TH. I cover this, but basically the voiced is when you vibrate your throat to make a sound, and voiceless or unvoiced is when you don't use your throat for making a sound. You're making the sound only in your mouth, and usually by pushing air out through your mouth. Okay. Now let's take a look at the third and final category for pronouncing the ED ending sound in English, and there are only two here, and that's D and T sound. So worded and started. Okay, so here you're going to pronounce the word just like in the present form, like word, and then add id at the end. Worded and start. Started. Okay, so these are the three different forms of pronouncing the ed sound for the past forms of regular verbs. And I think a good tip for you is to compare and contrast the ending s sound with the ending ed sound when you learn a new verb. And to learn more about the ending s sound, you can find my video on that. And I'm not just promoting my own videos. This is actually really important to compare and contrast the ending s sound of regular verbs, because we have to conjugate that in the present form, the simple present form, and the ed sound, because this is a big problem for a lot of non-native speakers. Okay, so let's first compare the ending sounds of s, verbs with s at the end, and verbs with ed at the end. So these are all the similarities. Okay, so for the pronunciation of verbs that end with f sound, k sound, or p sound, for the present tense, when we conjugate those, we just say s at the end. So, for example, golf, golfs, and golfed. All right, these end with the s sound or the t sound. All right, these are the same. So golfs, golfed, laughs, laughed. All right, photographs, photographed, and looks, looked, helps, helped. All right, so you're comparing the present tense, the simple present tense, with the past form of this verb. All right, and it's easy to practice the pronunciation of the present form and the past form when you first learn this by following these rules. And I lay this out very clearly in the video about the ending s pronunciation. That video is not only about verbs; it also includes nouns and other words, but it's very helpful for you to do this when you're learning new words, new verbs, or if you want to practice your pronunciation for words that you already know. So for the simple present of verbs that we that end with s and are pronounced like z, so for example, grabs, bags, calls, warms, happens, shares, believes, hurries, clothes, like this. These words, when they're pronounced in the past form with ed, are pronounced like d. So grabbed, bagged, called, warmed, happened, shared, believed, hurried, bathed. Okay, so you have grabs and grabbed, bags and bagged, and so on. All right, so these are basically the same, z sound and d sound, if the consonant that comes right before the ending sound is b, g, l, m, n, r, v, vowel sounds or voiced th sounds, then is pronounced with a z in the present form and a d in the past form. Okay, and you'll notice right away when you're comparing that there are no similarities in any of the regular verbs with the iz pronunciation or the id pronunciation. Okay, so that means that this is a difference between these s ending pronunciation and ed ending pronunciation. Okay, so now let's take a look at the difference, the contrasts between the endings of the ending s and ending ed pronunciation. So here you can see races, uses, kisses, fixes, watches, wishes, and changes. So these are all pronounced with the iz pronunciation of the s ending sound. But you'll see that's not the same when it's past tense. Okay, so here we're looking at the differences. All right, the contrast between the s ending sound and the ed ending sound pronunciation. And why I say it's so important to compare and contrast the ending s sound and the ending ed sound is because what I hear so often, so frequently, all the time, is non-native speakers incorrectly pronounce the ending ed sound in the past form of regular verbs because of how the ending s sound is pronounced in the simple present tense of those same words. So, for example, someone will correctly say races, but then because they're thinking that, okay, when I say race, with the S pronunciation, it's race is, then it must be the same when I change it to past tense, raced, right? Wrong. Okay, so I hear this all the time. For example, uses, and used, or watched, right? It should be watched, but they say watched. Why? Because in the present form it's watches. All right. So you can see a few examples that I've got here. And this is a big mistake. So comparing and contrasting the ending s and ending ed sound is very helpful for your pronunciation to avoid these kinds of mistakes and really help you to take the next step to move from maybe an intermediate level speaker to an upper intermediate or more advanced speaker. And it can also help with your listening ability when you're listening to native speakers as well. Okay, so now just to end the video, first of all, I want you to look at the 10 words here on the screen. And before I pronounce them, before I say them, I want you to write down what do you think the ending sound is for all 10 of these words. Is it the T sound, the D sound, or the ID sound? Okay? So, you go ahead and write that down. Maybe you can pause the video right now and write down your answers. Okay, and now I'm going to say each one of these words, and you can double check what you wrote down, all right, and maybe change what you wrote down, and then after that I'll show you the answers. Okay, so number 1 is shared. Okay, number 2, shredded. Number 3, sacked. Number 4, saved. Number 5, faced. Number 6, missed. Number 7, charged. Number 8, tried. Number 9, wasted. And number 10, carried. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video now. If you want to change any of your answers that you wrote down first based on my pronunciation, you can do that. And here are the answers. Alright, so I really hope that this video helps you with your own pronunciation and also with your listening ability, and to understand how the present form, the simple present pronunciation of these regular verbs ending with S, that has 3 different pronunciations, and how that relates to the past forms of the pronunciation of these same words, okay, because they're different. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd like you to comment on the video. Tell me what you think about this video. Tell me if you want some other kind of video. I have some subscribers who are commenting on this, and I've had a subscriber ask me to make a video about sentence stress, and I'm going to do this. I'll be working on this and releasing that video soon. And I would encourage you to do the same thing if there's a video that you'd like me to do, or any thoughts you have on this video. So please go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.